to The Cold Soak with Christian Eedes. I'm David Clarke, and each month I sit down with Christian Eedes, Senior Editor at winemag.co.za and one of South Africa's most respected wine critics, to discuss everything happening in the South African wine industry. This podcast is brought to you by the XNMO Wine Club. Let's jump in to this month's conversation. Welcome, Christian. How are you?
I'm good, David, and our previous podcasts have been over breakfast and coffee, and this is an evening podcast over a glass of wine, so I'm really good.
Yeah. Well, let's see how many glasses we can get through, I think. Yeah, the previous one was a bit too... I wasn't feeling the greatest, and it was 8 a.m, so that's not in my biorhythm, my peak performance time. Otherwise, I would have been a cyclist or a surfer or something, and that's not what I am. So we opted for a shift to the early evening
slot.
That's the early evening. Yeah. Sun's still up, so we're still, officially working.
Will we still be sober by the end of the podcast?
Yeah. Will we be talking absolute garbage more now, or after? When we first came up with this idea, I remember we spoke a few times, obviously, about having a monthly podcast, and I think both of us at some stage during those early talks thought, is there enough to talk about on our podcast every month? But I look back on the last one, and then a lot's happened since.
Great point. I think also part of our discussion was making a wine conversation pertinent, relevant, entertaining, educational, because wine is difficult to broadcast. It lends itself to the written word, not necessarily to podcasts or even video.
You think? Why do you think that? I'm not sure that's true, but okay.
Well, because it's not very visual, is it? I mean, cooking shows work because you've got delicious ingredients, and if it's Nigella Lawson, slightly saucy, commentary.
Are you saying you're not saucy?
I can be.
We've both got great.
But I'm not as good looking as Nigella.
We've both got great heads for radio, haven't we? And for a podcast.
Face for radio.
So delicious ingredients. Surely delicious is something to do with taste rather than visuals. So, I mean, wine is delicious. What's the difference?
No, but I mean, a really sharp knife, slicing through a really ripe tomato is a nice thing to watch. Whereas a wine bottle is a wine bottle.
We have no real skills to broadcast.
I've pulled one cork, you pull a million.
Fair.
So I think what Clarke and Eedes bring is a little bit of banter, which is often missing in the world of wine. I mean, the world of wine could afford to take itself far less seriously.
On that, I don't know, maybe we'll just shoot from the hip before we get to some... I mean, I've written a few little agenda points here, but it is, as dear listeners will recognise, pretty unstructured.
Make it up on the fly.
Are we taking ourselves too seriously? Are we talking to ourselves? Is that the problem? Wine is globally declining. You're fresh off the, what is it called?
The SA Wine Summit, I believe.
Yeah, okay. So the old Vinpro day.
The old Vinpro Information Day, or whatever they used to call themselves.
Yeah. So you had that today. So you haven't had a whole bunch of time to absorb and sort of process is probably the word I'm looking for.
So, I mean, it was a great day. I mean, the caliber of speaker was very good. It was a little bit... deja vu in the sense that very good articulating the problems, not so good at identifying solutions. But, there are a whole bunch of concurrent, clear and present dangers for the wine industry. Health, cost of living, cost of production, the rise, a skepticism amongst younger consumers about wine per se. How do we address that? How do we make it relevant to them? I think an interesting line of conversation that emerged in the breaks was that I hadn't considered enough to date was, if you're a 20-something or 30-something and you're captured in a slightly compromising situation because you've been imbibing, that could potentially be compromising. And to what extent is the role of the mobile phone playing in the decline of wine consumption?
Oh, everything's happening in public now.
Everything's happening in public and can be recorded.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, you know, at the same age, you know, when I got up to mischief, nobody knew about it, other than the people in the room.
Yeah, and now when you get up to mischief, no one actually cares.
Well, I have the life experience to realise not to do it in public. You know?
Yeah, I wish I learned that. I recently had some mischief happen in public, which is regrettable, but it happens. Yeah, have you really been to a bar if you haven't been kicked out of it?
I did that in my 20s. When cell phones weren't a thing.
Yeah. Some of us learned.
In fact, I got locked into bars as opposed to out of them.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I'm not sure that's happening much these days.
No, possibly.
Well, certainly not. We're not invited to those parties. We're tucked up in bed, snoring our asses off by that point. All right. Okay. Having said all that, okay, May. What's been happening on Wine Mag in May?
What's been happening on Wine Mag in May? I think there have been some great new reviews. I mean, releases, should I say?
Yes.
I've had a fun time reviewing.
So, just so you know what's coming, Christian, I've got here a few little notes talking about the industry trying to reposition after a few challenging years, and you know what looks like a few more, even more challenging years ahead.
The future of platters is very topical right at the moment, and I think platters is about to collapse under its own weight. How does anybody try and review 9,000 SKUs inside a 12-month period? It's physically impossible. And as I think I've said before, I don't believe anybody has ever bought a 2-litre bag-in-box based on its platter rating or anybody's rating. So it's part of the industry. Good luck if you've got a listing.
I don't know if that's true, actually, now that I actually, because I've got nothing else better to do, I was just in Checkers the other day and I was checking out what their wine, not in the Checkers liquor store, but the Checkers wine section in the supermarket is. And obviously it's, it's big brands, it's, so I wasn't expecting super boutique stuff. Like it is similar to their coffee selection, for example, which is not boutique. It is, not terrible, but it's not not the top of the game either. So it caters to a market where you're there to buy nappies, you're there to buy washing powder and a couple of bottles of wine and or boxes of wine. But if you're looking at box wine because that's that's the economic and stylistic thing, you only want to spend X amount of money on wine, whether you can only afford that or you think that's what wine should cost. If one's got 3.5 stars and the other one's got 3 stars, surely you're going 3.5.
I beg to differ. I think at that end of the market, as I say,
if they're advertised as such, they're next to each other. One's got a picture of a vineyard on it. The other one's got a picture of a vineyard on it.
No, but which critic is ever going to have the bandwidth, time, energy?
No, that's a different argument, though. You said that no one's ever bought a box wine because of the platter rating. I would disagree. If they were put the platter ratings on the...
No, but to use your coffee analogy, you either like a light roast or a dark roast, and then you shop on price and away you go. To the extent that anybody rates coffee, if you're shopping at Checkers, you need toothpaste, toilet paper, and coffee, and cat food.
And box wine.
Yeah, but I don't think a rating is going to, one way or the other, is going to massively move the dial. Or any sort of rating.
So Platters is going to, or is currently, in your opinion, collapsing under its own weight?
I think. And
are you guessing, or are you telling me?
I'm guessing, and I don't wish Platters, as my late father used to say, who was the founder of Wine. So this is not entirely incidental. And he used to say, Platters is a noble institution, and there are precious few noble institutions in the wine industry. So it brings me no joy to Platters' demise, and this is all with respect to the new GM Bubbles Highland, and I wish her all the luck in the world because she's a lovely person.
Bubbles is a legend.
But can it be saved? I would address this question less to Bubbles and more to Diners Club. It's like, what the hell? Where is the? Yes, it's corporate owned. Where's the leadership? Where are the resources that could drag it out of its death spiral?
Okay, but we did speak about that last month. So.
But it's topical, and it goes to what everything that we're talking about is.
No, but we're not giving anything new here.
Well,
I don't think.
Well,
we've heard nothing.
No, we've heard nothing. Again, radio silence.
Yeah.
Which is not a great look. But I think
Earth to Diners Club.
Come in, please.
Yeah. I will insert some sort of like alarm or like a what is it called? A Morse code. Tuning in Tokyo.
It's the Major Tom.
Yeah. We would like to know what's going on. Please.
And again, it's not entirely incidental. It's the end of May, and presumably they're gunning to get a 27 edition out sometime before the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be spectacular to see this being pulled off. As you say, are we bringing any new insight to bear? What I would say is that, beyond this just being about, Wine Mag's access to the market, Wine Mag's relationship with ex animo, and what happens to Platters, I think there's a bigger issue is where is wine media in South Africa and, for that matter, in the world going? I mean, Parker.
Let's get the wine journalist on to talk about wine media in the world.
Well, here we are.
Boring.
No. I think there's been really healthy debate. I hate writing about wine. It's like proper navel gazing. But I mean.
Well, there's a few repetitive subject items on Wine Mag. but it is a small industry. I understand that.
No, it's not just about Christian's massive self-regard. It's about what happens to media
or Tim's love of Ibn Saudi. Manages to squeeze him in on every article somehow.
That's what she said. It's less about what the state of wine media and more about the state of media per se. I mean,
This is a wine podcast, not a media podcast, mate.
No, but
Get to your point quickly, otherwise I'm going to move on.
Where will people get their, whether they're baby boomers and Gen Xers who want scores or whether they're millennials and Gen Zs who want the narrative, where are they going to get that content in a world where you can just, Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini will just tell you whatever you want to hear?
Okay, I will entertain this line of subject matter for a second. The market will dictate it, won't it?
I agree, the market always does.
Yeah.
But just as the internet killed magazines, I think AI is going to kill websites. And AI
is going to kill journalism, you mean?
Well, I mean,
critiquing.
I could make a strong argument that journalism is dead already.
Yeah. No, and I would happy to listen to it on a journalism podcast.
Well, no, wine journalism is going to be the first to go because it's so niche to start with.
Yeah. It was always.
There'll be political journalism and financial journalism for a while longer.
Yeah.
But wine journalism, I mean,
All right. Well, should we talk about wine?
Yeah, we can. We can talk about.
Should we do that?
We can talk about wine.
I don't think we got to the Anysbos because obviously
that was last day of April.
Yeah, we recorded that before you released the Anysbos article. Talk me through that.
So
I'm going to get another bottle of wine.
I think it's just a fabulous project, and I absolutely, unequivocally adore the white blend. I'm not sure whether critics are meant to try and pretend to be objective or not. But, I mean, it is a wine that I buy every year by the case. I think it is a really clever blend. All grapes off the Bot River property, made by Marlies Niemann of Memento. And it just really captures my imagination. It's got a very unique flavor profile. It shows vintage variation, but not to the point where it's unrecognizable from one year to the next. It costs the princely sum of 390 Rand. And I think the owners of the property, Johan and Sue Haynes, have sort of realized something quite extraordinary. And it's just a wine that, if you like white blends, you really should seek out. Chenin Blanc, Roussanne, Marsanne, and Grenache Blanc. I don't know if I can give it more of a punt than that.
Old mate Marlies, legend. Sorry for all the noise there, guys. I was just putting my microphone back on. She also has a brand, her own brand called Memento.
Correct.
How is that sitting from your perspective? Is that something that is easy to digest, easy to understand?
No, very much so. And,
Okay.
and she's family makes a Chenin Vidalia blend. Her aesthetic, if you will, it's very elegant, very precise, and Memento is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. Is there not a confusion in the market, do you think, between Memento and Anysbos, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I think they're both sort of boutique brands. If you're incidentally interested in wine, you're probably not going to resonate with you too much. But if you're a wine geek, if you don't know of them already, then definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I mean, Distit is, from my point of view, I'm not at all involved with it, commercially at least. I drink it a fair bit, because I drink it every time I see it on a wine list, because it is, as you say, just unbelievably good. It's a slightly more exotic version of Rocking Horse, I would argue.
Great way of putting it.
They're both amazing wines, and both wines that could really only be produced in South Africa.
I totally agree.
Which is very exciting.
Absolutely.
Super exciting.
I drank them, the 23s next to each other this past weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Lucky boy.
Yeah, lucky. Oh, you know.
Planned, or?
Well, I opened the Rocking Horse because the 20 Rocking Horse is about to hit the market. And I just wanted to see what the 23 was looking at like. And I enjoyed it so much, I thought, let's see how Distit compares. And to your point, they've got family resemblances.
They're familiar but not replicants.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hogan, which is Jocelyn Wilson, née Hogan. Lovely lady. I have a commercial interest in these wines. What were your thoughts?
So the standout wine for me was the Galvanized Shard. I mean, it's a great set of new releases, but the one I was particularly taken with was the Galvanized Shard 25, which for the first time contains 20% Helderberg fruit in addition to her normal Simonsberg sauce. And my feeling was that little dash of Helderberg fruit just gave it an extra dimension, a little bit more zip.
Yeah, I think it's more Banhook rather than Simonsberg. But yeah,
Correct.
Yeah. Not to be too
pedantic,
particular, but yeah.
Correct.
And she used to have Elandskloof in there as well, which has fallen away. But that was a few vintages ago. But I agree with you, that Chardonnay is unbelievable. Obviously, she came into the scene on the back of a single vineyard Chenin from a farm that now Kelly Lowe is now the custodian. Banhook based with her husband Nick, who's an absolute legend. So yeah, long live Banhook. After Hogan, that was pretty early in May. What have we got here?
Next up was
Leeu Passant.
So I mean, it's Chris and Andrew Molyneux. Their Molyneux project is Swartland's dedicated, and these are wines from elsewhere in the winelands.
So is it similar to Marlies, having sort of, they've got their own, but this is more linked, isn't it? Like there's Molyneux and Leeu Passant is is one group or one collective. It's not like Marilis where she's making Memento wines and then making wines for other people, whereas this is two distinct brands with common ownership, maybe in different proportions.
No, common ownership. It's an interesting comparison. I find it fascinating how you could introduce Raats, B. Vintners, and De Compostela into the conversation. Do they live under the same umbrella, or are they?
I think it's a different umbrella, but okay, yeah.
And what do the brand owners intend? Do they want them to be seen as under the same umbrella or not? And it doesn't really bug me one way or the other. But I'm sure it bugs the brand owners.
As long as the booze is tasty.
As long as the booze is tasty.
And is it tasty?
It's.
So they've got a French Semillon, Stellenbosch Chardonnay, Wellington Cinsault, Stellenbosch Cabernet, and a red blend called the.
Leeu Passant. So the marketing is fascinating here because...
Is it called the, or is it just say Leeu Passant? Where's the word? You've called it the on the website, but I don't see the word the on the label.
I think...
you would be marked down in sommelier exams if you put the on a wine list when there's no word the on the actual label.
No, quite right. Interestingly enough, it used to be called Leeu Passant Dry Red. And this is according to Chris Maloney himself. They took the dry red off because...
No longer dry.
No, because punters thought it was unbecoming and wouldn't buy the wine.
Yeah.
Which sells for 2,160 rand a bottle.
Yeah.
So dry red wasn't helping the cause. So off it came.
So dry red in Australia is a much more prestigious and nostalgic moniker, whereas here it is a synonym for cinnamon. Synonym. Point being that it's interesting coming from both these two different places where dry red is seen to be, as you say, from Chris's perspective at least, a value dropper rather than a value...
Well, no, to be fair, I mean, the reason they went with dry red originally was because they were trying to emulate Rustenburg Dry Red, Chateau Libertas of yesteryear, and they thought they were being terribly smart, but the market didn't agree with them, so off it.
Yeah, but I don't think dry red here is, well, obviously it is. It's seen as the same sort of nostalgic. 'Cause it was, as you say, it was a throwback. It was a nostalgia sort of vibe. Anyway, how's the wine? Is it pretty good?
I
mean, they don't make bad wines, do they?
No,
they go okay.
I mean, very, very deliberate in the best sense. Very carefully thought out. For those that don't know, the red from Leeu Passant, it's 60 cab, 30 cab franc, 10 Cinsault.
Is the Cabernet Franc recent or not?
Oh, no, it's always been there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Radicales Libres, which I think is an amazing wine. I've not tasted this. Oh, no, I have tasted the 2020. That's the original one, isn't it? It's 5 years under oak, or am I making this up?
It goes back a few releases.
Okay.
5 years in oak. It's super delicious. I mean...
I love it. I mean, it is essentially their take on Tondonia, Gravonia, essentially. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
And I mean, unusual in the South African context. It's quite, for want of a better way of putting it, deliberately oxidative.
Yeah. Unlike under-deliberately oxidative.
Still get a few of those. 83.
No, mate, we meant it.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes everything.
No, it's a very, very classy.
They're a classy outfit, though. I mean,
no, the whole portfolio.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got the Wellington Cinsault's off the oldest red wine vineyard in the country.
Yeah, but is that just I mean, I've got my questions about saying that because, like, the oldest lady in the country isn't the hottest either. So
yeah, well, we can have a debate about whether
nor the smartest, the oldest dude isn't, hasn't. I'm not sure old necessarily equates with quality in that.
That's fair enough, but I mean, it's a point of interest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a point of interest. And how much do you pay for point of interest?
Well, I mean, I think they've bestowed great love and attention on this vineyard and makes delicious wine. So why the hell not? Yeah.
No, I'm being devil's advocate here. I'm just.
Yeah, I think the whole old vine project, in the broader sense, not what Rosa Kruger has initiated, but just the thought of making the most out of our vinous heritage rather than being compelled to replant every 15 to 20 years for the sake of it is net good rather than net bad.
Yeah, no argument from me on that point. Yeah, absolutely no. All right, moving on.
Rare moment, folks, when you eat.
Corney Family Wines.
So Cameron Corney, ex-Vergelegen, now...
How ex?
Quite recently, eh?
Okay. Were these 25s you really?
Yeah, so now at Almenkirk, wife...
Now at Almenkirk, so he's the winemaker at Almenkirk.
Correct.
Okay, and he's making these wines there as well?
Correct.
Okay.
So he...
The guys at Almenkirk are awesome as well.
Yeah, Joris and Natalie. So the deal was...
You didn't taste the new Almenkirk wines?
Towards the end of last year. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. So, but the deal was that he could start his own label as long as it didn't compete with Elgin in general and Almenkirk specifically.
Yep.
So hence Shannon.
Yep.
And
so what's in the range currently? Is it
just
Shannon?
Yeah, two Shannons.
Oh, two Shannons. Okay,
one from Swartland, one from Stellenbosch, and they're on point.
Cool. $330 retail. Is this the first release of these ones?
Maiden release.
That's a strong, look, $330 is not nothing. And that is not like, I mean, it took me a while to be spending $330 on a wine I didn't know in my, growing up and drinking wine. So I don't want to pick on Cameron, but it is something that has been sort of not bugging me, but I've noticed it over the last 5-10 years. I'm a slow learner. That people releasing their wines into the market, first vintage, and it is at a price where no one's experimenting at that price. Not many people buyers are going, oh, I've never heard of this. Let's give it a go at $330 a bottle. So they're relying on people like you and people like me, to much lesser extent, to build their market for them.
I think this is the nub of the problem. Not the nub. It's one of the crucial issues that confronts fine wine in South Africa and dare I say globally. I totally agree with you, and I do laugh at myself because for a very long...
But South Africa is the new brand capital of the fucking wine world. Every time you wake up, there's 3 new brands. So...
And typically off Old Vine Shannon.
That isn't a problem. That part's good. I like that part.
Part's good. but I mean, if I was Cameron Corney, I'd probably also going to make some decent Shannon.
Yeah.
But
no, and I'm sure the wines are great. I mean, you've given them good reviews and stuff. I'm not complaining.
But how do you stand out in the market?
Exactly. This is the problem. Yeah.
And the thing is, you've made...
There's 14 other choices people can make.
400.
No, I'm being generous.
No, I mean, literally, I mean, 400. I mean, somewhere between 14 and 400. More than 14, maybe less than 400.
It's the old, when did it happen? Well, it was after the birth of Christ, before the internet.
But no, there's tons of really good Shannon sitting at between 300 and 150 rand a bottle. Really good Shannon, and a whole bunch of things are starting to happen. And this, as you say, I don't mean to pick on Cameron, but presuming that you can.
This is not about Cameron
Corney
at all.
But it is about the difficulties that the fine wine market is now, headwinds that the fine wine market is encountering. And 300 and something rand a bottle is expensive if you are starting out on your wine journey. It's expensive if you are starting out in your career and you're not earning 100,000 rand a month.
Well, it's also $900 on a wine list. That's the other part. So if you're going out and to a little wine bar, or because this is out of the range of by the glass wines also.
Yeah, good,
So,
great point.
Yeah, you have to choose this off a list, or someone has to tell you about it.
But what also dawned on me,
And all of a sudden, your 5% is now 0.05%. It was 1 in 20, and now it's 1 in 200. Like, it's wild how quickly these segments.
But I want to make a converse point, or a related point. But it also works the other way. Is I have acquaintances who...
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You don't have any friends.
No, I'm thinking of my good mate Tom Moultrie, who can...
You have friends, but you give them invoices.
Who loves wine, can afford it,
Yeah.
but has his favourites, because navigating, is a Shannon enthusiast, but tends to buy his favourites because navigating all these different labels is
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
if you're a youngster, you can't afford it. If you're a...
I'm going to do a bit of a callback here to your daughter, going to see The Devil's Wear Prada 2 twice. There's not 1,000 new movies out every week, but she's still gone to that one twice. Because even the movie release schedule is overwhelming, and that is much smaller in number. Fewer in number. Even.
Great point. I would nuance it slightly in that...
Great point is probably overplaying it.
I think it is a great point. And I would nuance it slightly, and she said that there are not that many movies that are suitable, however they grade or rate, or not rate.
Applicable for 14-year-olds.
Yeah. So So I want to go out with my friends. I want to see my friends. I want to eat popcorn. I want to drink slushies.
Yeah.
I've got to go and see this movie twice now. Yeah.
On the other side of things, I've just realised that June and June 2 are rated 13 on Netflix. So my 14-year-old, who obviously I had with a lady, Jeanette. So she's now seen both movies, and I've just rewatched them with her and went, this is not okay for a 13-year-old. Well, she's 14, but still, it's like, this is not Devil's Wear Prada 2 at all. No. Anyway, I'm not sure how that's relevant, but anyway. Sorry.
So I mean, to try and bring these strands together, and I think...
Geez, good luck, mate.
No, I'm going to give it a go. Is there enough wine that's really tasty in a wine 50 to 250 bracket?
Is there enough wine that's really tasty in that bracket?
Yeah.
Well, aren't you the dude who has to find that out? Isn't that your remit, essentially?
Indeed. But I mean,
it's self-crowned, like you're the Napoleon of.
No, but now you're making me rack my brain.
When you're a saint, you get canonized. What happens when you're an emperor? Do you? What is it?
You rule with an iron fist.
No. But what is
crush all
the act of being from just punter to emperor? What?
Aggrandizement.
Aggrandizement, maybe. That sounds a bit religious. Anyway, yeah. So you get knighted to become a sir.
Yes, I follow your line of questioning. I
Okay,
don't know the answer.
Well, you're the only one, and this is why I keep you around. Anyway, we could talk about this forever, but good solid wines.
Yeah, no more than solid.
94, 93 on debut is a fucking
100%.
Is a great.
I think Cameron is a youngster to keep an eye on.
Awesome. Veve Raats. Talking about the Raats and Compostela. Under what conditions do you... and the Vesperi with the new one. Is that the new one?
Second vintage of the companion white wine.
It's white Compostela, essentially. Yeah. Compostela Blanco.
Correct. Yeah, a good way of putting it.
Blanco.
So now we're 2 vintages in. It's a somewhat curious wine because it's Chenin Sauv and
Vesperi.
Semillon. Yeah.
Is that a Vesperi? Is that like a cross between a Vesper and a Valkyrie?
That's all to do with the stars.
Vesperi.
All to do with the stars.
I mean, I know that Brevet is very automotively minded.
It's all to do with the stars.
Is it?
Yeah.
Lime, lemon, soft citrus. Oh, who would have thought a white wine would have lime, lemon, and soft citrus? This is a great fucking tasting note, Christian.
No. Why I find it curious is because you've got a kind of, a Bordeaux white meets.
What do you mean Bordeaux white? It's 41% Chenin.
No. Can I finish my sentence? Bordeaux white meets.
A lot of it's shit. No.
meets old vine Chenin, or I don't know if it's old vine Chenin. It might be young vine
You
Chenin.
don't even know. It can get, like it's very Raats. It's Raats. It's not old vine.
No, they do have an old vine Chenin in the range, but
It's quality by design, mate.
quality by design.
Yeah.
That's what Brevet, I'm sure, wants you to think. I like it well enough, but look, Duncan.
Well enough. You gave it 95. That's
No. But I
top score, mate.
also qualified's the wrong word. Described it as distinctive, which is
okay. You're putting one worders in now.
I'm putting one word as
Okay, like too long didn't read. It's 95 distinctive.
Correct.
So it is not for everybody, but if you like sort of slightly quirky gear, it's up your alley. Is that where we're going?
Precisely.
Oh well, look at this. You could just write one word. You could save a whole bunch of time and remove all the lime, lemon, soft citrus. Because I want to know what lime, lemon, hard citrus. What is the difference there?
So soft citrus is mandarin, tangerine, nachi.
Okay. And hard citrus?
And orange.
Orange.
No. Get Ansgar Flaten on the show and ask him about tangerines, nachis, clementines. That'll be an hour-long episode on its own. I've ended up with soft citrus because, as Kathy van Sale, MW, points out to me, if it's an international audience, nobody knows what the fuck a nachi is. I don't really know what a tangerine or a mandarin is.
Well, a mandarin is a nachi. And
how is it different to a tangerine?
Tangerine, I think, is... Tangerine is a song on Led Zeppelin 3.
Fair enough. Now I know what a tangerine is.
Yeah. It's a great song.
So that's how we end up with soft citrus.
Clementine is a type of mandarin. I mean, nachi's wild. I didn't know what a nachi was until 2014. Until I moved here. And then I realised it's just a mandarin.
There you go.
Yeah, or a clementine.
Hence soft citrus.
Yeah. Okay. And I was about to say DR de Compostela. That was a big error. MR de Compostela. Going in, I mean, it's a very serious wine with a lot of legacy.
The 2,250 rand price tag, which suggests it's a serious one.
Yeah, but I mean, price is just the number. I mean, they've put in many years and...
No.
You know, this is one of the key wines of South Africa, is it not?
Agreed.
I mean,
Especially,
we're having fun. It's about, but this is a serious wine for serious people, made by serious people.
Agreed. And a leader in its category.
Yeah.
The category being Cape Bordeaux.
Yeah.
So
can I ask you a few questions as an intro here? Because you've tasted far more of these than I have, right? I don't really like Cape Bordeaux wines that much. I think the occasional one's amazing, very cool. But in general, I would much rather drink a Syrah or something that likes heat a little bit more, because I think that it's just too hot here. Maybe it's a reflection that I've only been here since 2014 or whenever I arrived, 2013. So it's been a warmer era for me. Bordeaux is the keystone, the measuring stick for Cabernet and Merlot based wines. Okay, and then you've got obviously Cabernet Franc and blah blah blah. Then you can argue Loire, blah blah blah. But Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot plus friends, Bordeaux is the benchmark. Great Bordeaux versus great Cape Bordeaux, for lack of a better word. I think it's a horrific term, Cape Bordeaux, but everyone hopefully will understand what I'm talking about here. What are the differences? How are they similar? How are they different? Why should we be drinking both, or should we be dumping one for the other? I mean, we'll get to MR very soon.
No,
I'm putting you under a bit of pressure here, I understand.
No, it's a great question.
But it's like, surely you've been thinking on this, not deliberately, but like in the background for at least 40 years of your life.
It's a great question, and so
because I don't get it.
It's a prestige category. Whether
What does that mean? Expensive?
essentially witness the Compostela price, and
But what else does it mean? Prestige.
no. Allow me to explain.
Okay, I'll be quiet for a bit.
I think it's got some kind of track record, because we have, going back to Welgemend, and Midas Rubicon and Paul Sauer, which are all roughly, I think, off the top of my head, Welgemend was 79, followed by Rubicon, followed by Paul Sauer in the early 80s. So there is some kind of track record. I mean,
Sorry to interrupt. I apologise, because I mean you do get in a run, and I don't want to. But you're saying that the first vintages of these wines were all sort of within 4 or 5 years of each other.
Correct.
Okay.
And caused a lot of excitement, and with those who had ambitions for,
Because this is still in the dark, deep years of isolation. Yes.
Yeah.
So who was getting excited?
I guess, most importantly, not just producers but consumers who hoped that South Africa was capable of fine wine. And
So was there no critic that sort of brought this to light, or was it just?
no, I think it was producer driven largely.
Okay. So they just got pumped on themselves. So not much has changed.
I suppose John Platter. I mean, the Platter's Guide is 46 years old, which takes us back
Early 80s.
Yeah. So
yeah, right. So it's at the same time.
Same time. Despite it being the very darkest days of apartheid, 73 marks establishment of the wine of origin system, and
Bought in from 74 vintage onwards.
and the beginning of the Stellenbosch winery. So now,
Like two years later, I think 76 was that. Yeah.
so now, but there's a
No, I interviewed Johan Milan about that, and that was a part of the history I didn't realise. It was really interesting.
there's some proper free thinkers going like, how do we raise the bar?
Yeah,
How do
we're
we,
trying to fucking yeah.
despite KWV ruling with an iron fist elsewhere, in general.
Rainbow Fist.
These Bordeaux blends emerge, and and have had a following ever since.
What do you mean emerge? I mean, how did they just emerge? Was it?
Well, I think everybody, not just South Africa, but I mean, everybody wanted to measure themselves against the best in the world, and Bordeaux has, ever since the class of the 19th century, what is it, 1850 when?
1855.
1855, that has been if you're going to work with Cabernet and the Bordeaux varieties, then you measure yourself against Bordeaux.
But the revolution in Australia took place in the late 50s with old mate and Penfolds and doing a tour of Bordeaux, right? That was, and then brought that back and said, oh, we need small oak, we need new oak, we need to all that sort of vibes. We need to extract and get things a bit riper because everything was not ripe back in the 50s. But what happened in the 70s that struck that?
It's a good question. I mean,
We should have asked Angela Lloyd. She was only 50 back then.
The guild gets started in the 80s as well, and the guild had it wasn't a big money-making racket.
Yeah, but if you say that the Bordeaux sort of vibe and the movement, for lack of a better word, the gravitational pull towards that had happened in the sort of the mid to late 70s. But there must have been something, or a few other factors at play during that time or just before that played there, that impacted, that affected those winemakers and those.
I don't have a ready answer. I mean,
okay,
at the same time,
do you know what? It's okay to say I don't know and move on.
No, at the same time, Tim Hamilton Russell is off
Yeah, is belting in Chardonnay in sand.
In a region that wasn't even designated a wine growing region.
Yeah, you have to shoot the cows away to fucking plant some vines. Yeah. Okay. I could talk about this for about, I don't know, the next 8 hours, but I'm not sure anyone wants to listen to it.
Last thing I would say is that, like, even
this is not going to be the last thing you want to say. But
no, on the subject is that even in those dark days there was some progressive free thinkers. So thank goodness for them.
Okay, talking about, I can never say it properly, Verklekken.
Yeah,
is that pretty good or not?
For an Aussie, yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, fuck, I'll take it. Here's another link. To
Bordeaux.
To that winery was Glenelly Lady May 2021. So a fairly classic variety. A classic vintage. My apologies, I got my V words mixed up. So released essentially 5 and a bit years after harvest. And to great fanfare. I mean, I don't look at since being kicked out of a bar in Cape Town, I don't look at comments so much. But I did see that Glenelly Lady May was being released 2021.
Absolutely terrific wine. And so what we didn't say about the Compostela is the 23 vintage. And I do chuckle because, of course, 23 was rain affected. But every single producer of a Cabernet or Cabernet-based wine assures me that they picked before the rain. So that's miraculous.
With ripeness?
With full phenolic ripeness.
Yeah, amazing.
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought? In my humble opinion, 23 is not the greatest Cabernet or Cabernet blend vintage.
Yeah.
Whereas 21 is quite a spectacular.
A different story.
Talk
to me about the wine.
Just for
is Glenelly Lady May up there? Like, if you've got a wine list in front of you and some people who want to be impressed, are you ordering that, or is it even in the conversation? Where are we seeing reputationally?
So it doesn't have the track record of Canon Corp or Mealist.
No, I'm talking about MR Compostela.
MR. No, I think MR is definitely right up there for me. I mean, if I. But
MR doesn't have the track record of the others, but it has the cachet.
For sure, and it's been around longer than Lady May.
Has it? Okay, this is what I'm asking.
Has it? And probably not.
I don't know. I don't drink this stuff.
When was maiden vintage of the Compostela and when was maiden vintage of Lady May? Not terribly different, I wouldn't have thought.
Okay, so similar longevity, similar ages.
But Lady May was late coming to the party.
I'm shocked to see that you've put a tasting note of plums and cassis on a... Shocking.
Well, look, I mean...
Fuck, this is worth paying for, guys. This is a red wine that tastes like plums and cassis.
You can... I'll give my good mate Greg Sherwood a punt. If you want more poetic notes, then you'll definitely find them on Sherwood.
Yeah. Gravel at dusk. What?
Full fee gravel.
Yeah. After it's driven over by my good friend such and such's Land Rover. This looks like a good wine. It reads beautifully.
I think it's a category game changer.
Category game changer. Yeah. I'm going to set an alarm here. Intent. Yeah.
Attentive.
Attentive. Thank you. Aggressively attentive. Yeah. This is why I have.
Are you a bottle ahead of me? I'm trying to keep up. Are you a bottle ahead of me?
It's none of your business. Mate, you've just come from a 8-hour.
Yeah. No.
I've been working all day.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not listening to guys talk about a slideshow and like a PowerPoint presentation. This is going longer than I thought, but that's okay. It's all good stuff. You had a Leeu Passant Stellenbosch Chardonnay vertical, Paul Wallace Reflection Chardonnay. Is that Hogan?
It is Hogan.
Okay.
Suffice to say, Paul and Nikki Wallace, long husband and wife, long-term operators now, with Bobby, their son, making the wine. Just goes to show how lovely Elgin Shah can be. It's lean and fresh and pure and balanced.
Lean and fresh and pure sounds a bit hollow.
It's the kind of Chard I like. It might not be as voluptuous as some others would.
No, but I like weight and intensity as much as anybody, but I don't want voluptuousness. But when you said, the words you just used got into my head, oh, it's a bit shallow, it's a bit like you blow it. If you blow too hard, it's going to fall over.
No, I mean, I think those of us who care about Chard, when is lean too lean? We've moved very much away from rich buttery, and have we moved too far away from rich and buttery? Mm-hmm. So,
$320.
Is that expensive? Is that cheap?
Oh, that's what I'm asking you. I've not tasted it.
Well, I mean, it's a recurring theme of this podcast. Is $320 expensive or cheap?
Well, no, for that wine. I mean, $320 for a Ferrari is cheap. $320 for a clapped-out fucking City Golf that doesn't move is expensive. They're both cars.
The Wallace family are going to say that's what they need to charge. No, let me finish.
I'll get the Wallace family on if I want to hear them what they have to say. You're here, mate. You tell me.
I don't know.
You don't know? Bro.
We live in a world where a tub of gummies costs 300 rand, and that lasts me at least 2 weeks.
Well, at the moment. Yeah.
Whereas
it doesn't matter. That dial is moving. That is not a static stat.
In our house, 98 point Chenin Blanc that costs maybe 800 rand a bottle lasts about half an hour. Because it's delicious. But is it cost effective?
Okay. No, the point. You've evaded the point. I'm not going to. We're going to do this every month, and I'll still. You've got some absolute heavy hitters. Yeah. The last three here on my little sheet here is Signs of Sinai, Storm, Graham Beck. Three producers who are at different environments, neighbourhoods in the pantheon of South African wine, but you could argue that all three are at their top of their categories. Signs of Sinai with Bernard Bradell, my man Bernie. I am, again, very involved with this producer. Thoughts?
So two things.
Mostly 25s.
So the Signs of Sinai release prompted Tim James to kick off on the subject of, are we over-rewarding lean wines? And that caused a stir. I think it's an.
So when I asked you about Tim James's article earlier in this podcast, you did not mention the overscoring of lean wines. You said it was about relationships and access and. No. Obviously, it had a lot of themes. This article.
It certainly did. And
Tim's article is Tim's article. I love Tim James. I think he writes beautifully. He always writes interestingly and honestly. I'm not a huge fan of that article, I have to say.
No. So
can we get back to the article? Can we talk about the wines first and then we can talk about the article? Okay. Signs of Sinai.
I thought...
Overall, what are you thinking?
For health reasons, I have to...
Oh, shit, where are we going with this?
I have to rate a lot of wine. and then for reasons of pleasure, there are wines that I want to drink. And
I see, right.
Signs of Sinai are definitely wines I want to drink.
Yeah.
I think his 25 white, or especially the Grenetstein Chenin, which comes off a very famous property...
Well, recently famous.
Recently famous, but I mean, his rows are adjacent to the Alite rows. I mean, and I can never remember if it's Fire by Night or Broomstick or what's the Alite?
Nautical Dawn.
Nautical Dawn. Thank you. I think Bernard Bradell's 25 Grenetstein is a little undercooked.
Okay, picked too early. In that sense,
I don't know. I would love to.
What does that mean then?
There would be a plausible.
For the guys who don't know what you're talking about, which is about probably 5.5 billion people on Earth. Please explain.
Possibly picked it early. I mean, 25 are much more highly regarded vintages than 24. I absolutely loved the 24. I really loved it. I would love to drink the 25 next to the 24, and maybe I would change my mind about how I feel about the 25. But I think...
I mean, you've tasted both wines at the same age, etc., etc.
Exactly.
And your job is to try young wines and
retain how I felt about one vintage.
And Nostradamus the shit out of it.
Thank you. That's exactly how I try and handle everything.
So to quote you, to call it stingy would be unfair, but it is certainly understated. Cerebral rather than hedonistic.
That's how I feel.
That sounds like you're trying to be very politically correct, and you're thinking. I mean, it sounds like you want to say that wine is not thin, skeletal, maybe, or a little bit.
I'd like a bit more vuma.
A little bit 1946 Europe. I'd like a little bit like underfed. It's on rations.
I'd like a bit more vuma.
Yeah, vuma. Okay, right. It seems like you like the reds a lot more.
I like the reds a lot more. Okay. And then what I would say that like I really admire, respect, and his decision to hold back the Phoenix Pinotage and the Syrah, which is called
Swansong.
Swanesong. I
say it like a Spanish person because I don't know how to say it like an African person.
And I think and it's deliberate.
Probably Italian more than that.
A very deliberate decision, and because I mean the wines have definitely gained by an extra 12 months in the bottle, and this is the plan going forward. And I can only imagine the hit to cash flow, but it just means the wines are going to look so much better.
I mean, I obviously sell these wines, so there is a hit on the cash flow because you're selling 2 less wines than you are normally. But I mean, it's an interesting. I mean, I'd love to open up a conversation about this, about when wines are most sellable versus when is it most advantageous for the person who paid for all the shit to sell it. So is it market ready or is it producer ready, and how far apart are those two? That would be interesting. Not right now, because if you are still listening, you want to listen, you want to hear about the new Storm releases, no doubt. This is I'm lucky that I have friends all over the world. Due to wine, totally due to wine. Not due to fucking charisma or being a good bloke or anything, just because wine. And there's a few producers they always ask about in South Africa, and Storm is one of those producers. So, and MR de Compostela is one of those wines also. So there is a tier list, and this is right at the tippity top. Under what conditions did you taste these wines?
So that's the only time we could hook up was on Friday, the afternoon of Friday the 15th of May.
Okay.
And I was simply blown away. And
simply blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, this is interesting because last time, recently, we spoke about your historical stance on South African Pinot Noir. Yes. Is it changing, or is it only changing for certain producers? Before we jump into the whole Storm thing, is it changing broadly, or is it changing on very specifically?
No, it's very specifically.
But it is changing.
It is changing, and I preface the review by saying, does Storm really compare to the best of Burgundy? A rhetorical question. The thing is, if you shopping at a sort of 1,500 rand a bottle for Village or sort of lowly Premier Cru, spectacularly bloody ordinary. I mean, that is a proper waste of money. Thanks to climate change. Well,
thanks to a lot of things. Thanks to the fact that everyone's jumping on board and putting the prices up. Yeah, and the wines are arguably worse than they were.
Granted.
Arguably worse.
But I mean, even if I was rolling in cash, I wouldn't be filling my cellar with with Burgundy at that price point. There's this extraordinary amount of dead ordinary Burgundy that's still coming into, well, I suppose they can't offload it anywhere else. Why? I mean, who's buying it? Why would you want to drink that when you can buy Storm for half the price? And is it really 98 points? I don't know, but it's fucking tasty.
Talk me through the wines. You've given them outrageously high scores. Yeah. 97, 96 is the lowest score you've given, because these are serious scores. I've obviously read the descriptions. Yeah, a lot of red and black fruit, surprisingly. What separates Storm in your mind to most other Pinot Noir producers in South Africa? Because that is really the question. Because, as you say, South African Pinot Noir historically for you has been a bit of a...
unconvincing.
Yeah.
To be diplomatic.
Yes. And that has changed drastically just in your point scoring, because it is a marker, it is a measurable, so that's why I'm using it. I apologise for just... No. So I mean, I would... Why has Storm... Because Pinot Noir, has Pinot Noir got better, or has Johannes got better?
No, so let me make my position categorically clear. I don't at all profess to be a Burgundy expert, but I have drank a fair, Romani Conti on more than once occasion in my life, which is...
You've got the benchmarks.
I've got a few benchmarks, reference points. I've spent a week in Burgundy visiting some very serious producers back in the day, and that sort of builds a residual memory bank. I mean, how else does one do this job? I mean, it's like food. You can't judge great food without eating great food. Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to eat great food every day.
No, I'm with you. But you have to have had... You can't imagine it.
No, you can't imagine.
It can't be from your imagination.
No, indeed.
Yeah.
So where I'm at now on South African Pinot Noir is that I think Hannes Storm and Peter Adam Frinson are making absolutely fabulous wine. That's, by the way, or incidentally, from Pinot Noir. In the South African context, hang
on. No. You're not getting away with that without some questions.
Okay.
Hannes is making Chardonnay Pinot Noir only. Peter Allen is making other varieties, not under Cristallum, but in Cabernet. So he's got Syrah, he's got Cabernet Franc, and probably everything else. Knowing Peter Allen, he's never shy of a commercial opportunity. But Pinot Noir and Chardonnay is very shining?
I think Cristallum is... The wines under the Cristallum label are...
Vastly superior to Cabernet. Okay, cool. All right.
Sorry, Peter Adam. Please don't stop inviting me for lunch.
It's question asked and question answered. This is why this podcast exists.
Yeah.
Okay. What are they doing differently? What is it? What do you think? What is it? Do you not know? Is it a mystery?
No.
I do. Is it chemistry?
I've got a
alchemy.
I think.
Do they buy you really nice lunches?
I think the really nice lunches are super important.
Yeah. And do not hurt. An 88 can't be an 89 without a bit of steak. And some peppercorn sauce.
I think their utter dedication to their craft. I mean, they've chosen the two Burgundian varieties.
Yeah, they've chosen violence, haven't they? They've chosen the hard way.
Yeah. But by the same token, I mean, why does Rhiannon... why does Rhiannon succeed with Syrah? Because he's actually committed to the variety. Rhiannon Borman of Bushcliffe.
I'm physically raising my hand here because I've got a serious question here. I don't think commitment is... I mean, you have to have some skill, surely.
Oh, sure. No.
Or are you getting there? Sorry.
I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry.
No. Commitment is but one of the factors. Skill for sure. Fruit from Himmel and Ida is clearly a favourable place from which to source.
So Storm, just killing it. 25, buy as much as you can. Is that the vibe? At, $800, $900 bucks a
Yeah,
bottle.
if it's not already sold out.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is, but like...
No.
Okay, now, at the risk of turning this podcast into a commercially viable operation, let's talk about Graham Beck, which actually moves a fair bit of wine every day.
2.5 million bottles.
Yeah, every day around the world.
Yeah, that's extraordinary, isn't it?
There is there's been a shift at Graham Beck.
A change of regime.
Yeah, I mean, the man.
The man.
Who's been there, since like 91, 92, something like that? Somewhere there, early 90s at least.
I
saw a photo of him on the cover of Wine Mag, and he...
Yeah, but I think he was still at Haute Cabaret.
But it was 30 years at least.
It's 35 years.
35 years. So that makes it 91.
I saw his wife Anne today, and she said 37. So I guess he was involved in the setup of it. Maiden, vintage.
I wouldn't trust Anne's mathematics. I know Anne quite well.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
Hi, Annie. How you doing?
Yeah. How many bottles in this box? 14. Did you count them? No. I love her to bits. She's awesome. But mathematics is not anything. Here we go. Since the maiden 1991 vintage, this is on your website. So he is departed, not under any cloud, but...
No, because he's just turned ripe old age of 60.
65, I'm assuming. Yeah. I see you reviewed the Graham Beck wines on the 27th of May.
Yeah, so a long overdue visit to Graham Beck. I think the last time I was there was 10 years ago. So I hooked up with Pierre de Klerk, the successor to Peter Ferreira, who retired at the beginning of this year. And it was a really wonderful visit. 160 hectares under vineyard on the Robertson property, which supplies approximately 60% of their total grape requirement. They make 2.5 million bottles of bubbly, which is extraordinary. Had a very nice, quick visit to the vineyards, and then proceeded to taste a whole number of the full premium range, vertical of Blanc de Blanc, a vertical of Cuvée Clive, a really fascinating deep dive into some of their more R&D type projects, like the same bubbly under various closures during secondary ferment, etc., and then culminating in a tasting of their Cuvée Clive X, which is X being the Roman numeral for 10. It's the 2015 vintage, 10 years on the lease, 100% Chardonnay. The Cuvée Clive X was launched to much fanfare last year. It is very, very nice. But no,
that's what we pay our money for, guys.
And it ain't cheap. No, but I was more taken with the 19.
The current release. The
current
normal,
release 19. Yeah. I mean, Pierre let me taste the X next to the Cuvée Clive 15, bottle aged. And
I see. Yeah. So same vintage, different
disgorgement.
Nice.
But you're fascinating.
Yeah. Give me a 30-second on that.
The Cuvée Clive 15.
The comparison between the 15 normal disgorgement versus
essentially
disgorgement.
Essentially the early quote unquote disgorgement is more savoury, more evolved in the best possible way. And the X is more primary and...
okay. So it's less developed.
Yeah, less developed.
So more time in these means...
in this case.
and I use the word advisedly, retarded aging.
Yeah.
Aging has been
Correct.
slowed down.
To my palate, and
Yeah.
you know, was that the agenda? It's very luxurious. It's got a very soft, creamy mousse.
Okay.
You know, it's quite bling, if you will.
Cool.
But the other one I really liked was the Ultra Brut, 100% stainless steel fermented, which was for me is like very linear and pure and direct and
Very cool. Okay, last topic before we
wrap.
2020 Shannons. I mean, I wasn't there, but you look back; those scores were high.
No, so
And then you look at the tasting notes, and maybe this is a lesson for people to read tasting notes rather than scores. But these things don't equate.
so
Something went wrong along the way.
Greg Shaw at MW and regular Wine Mag columnist dropped me a line to say,
Your scores are shit.
to say that him and a fellow bunch of London-based wine enthusiasts were underwhelmed, quote unquote, with how the South African top-end Shannons from 2020 were showing. This was private correspondence, if you will. No, so I said,
Private no longer.
No. So I put Greg up to writing the article, which he did. And
Oh, right. So he approached you before he wrote it.
yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to be unduly provocative, but David, as you and I often discuss, how long these whites are. You and I both love drinking them, but I think in a rare moment of agreement, they're not necessarily meant to be kept for too long. So 2020 for me would be properly where I'd want to drink them. They're not outside their drinking window, but they're six years down the line.
I think there's a disconnect between. Again, it's a point thing. You can write the greatest note in the world and say this is a lovely wine, intense and lovely, and it will be fully formed by 2025, blah blah blah, 98 points. But as soon as someone says 98 points or 96 points, even let's call it 96, because that's far more regular. You don't think that wine's going to be over by the time it's 6 years old. And I'm 100% playing devil's advocate here. I have no skin in this game.
No, quite right.
But at some point, you, as a score giver, you have to stand by your point and say, "Oh no, the points don't mean longevity; they mean what it's like on release."
No, but here's the kicker.
Okay.
The kicker was after Greg's article, which caused a stir, and presumably that's
Rightly so.
but also partly the point of journalism. I mean, let's get everybody thinking about the issues of the day. Does SA Shannon age? We're not having that conversation because everybody's too precious to have the conversation.
Well, aren't we having the conversation right now, mate?
We are. Please listen to this podcast more regularly. So after Greg's article, we replicated the exercise thanks to a private benefactor who has a very good collection. I one of my top wines of the night, and we tasted blind for the record. There were 16 wines.
Were you aware of the 16 wines, though?
I was aware of the 16. There were a couple of ringers in, i.e., lesser known names or lesser.
No, but were you aware that they were in the lineup?
Yes, I was fully aware of that.
Yeah. But so it's not. It's single blind. Yeah.
Semi-blind.
So you know the lineup. You don't know what order it is in.
Exactly. One of my favourite wines was David and Nadia Platbos.
What a fucking great wine.
Which I gave 97 to on release, and 6 years later gave it 97 again. Which poses the question for me, not to say I'm a super taster.
Are you bringing that out because it was an oddity in that taste?
No, not at all.
Did you give everything else 93,
No,
92?
so one of the ringers.
What was the biggest difference in what was the biggest difference in your release score versus your score on the
That's
day?
a great question. So what was interesting for me is that Platbos from David and Nadia was 98 on release in August 21.
According to you?
According to me.
Yeah.
And I gave it 97 in 5 years later. Similarly, and this is where I was trying to keep everybody assembled honest, we stuck in the Cavalli 2020, which Wine Mag panel gave 96 to blind, and
none of these guys bought it because it's not fancy.
Precisely.
Yeah. Okay.
And guess what? I gave it 97 5 years later.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Is that the only one that went up?
Maybe one or two else.
Is that Riani Straden?
Well, it is an Ariani.
Oh, was it Riani then?
It was.
I mean, credit where credit's due. Let's.
No, I think it's a great property. I mean,
No, but whoever made that wine obviously did a great job. Who was it?
It was Craig Barnard, who is now at Eagle's Nest.
Is that Constantia?
Correct.
Okay. Shout out to Craig. Fuck. Good work.
Great work. But I also think Cavalli needs a shout out because we now have Riani Straden incumbent and there's quality wine coming off it. Riani's such
a weapon.
A ledge. Absolute ledge.
Yeah. Awesome. So keep going. So that went up. That went up a point.
That went up a point.
The Cavalli. That was a little Easter egg for people.
Raats, Eden High Density, Young Vines, showed very well for me.
Didn't show or did?
Did very well.
No, we want points, mate.
Okay, was 94, now 97. Molyneux.
It went up 3.
Molyneux Schist Roundstone was 95, went to 96. Sardi Skurfberg 2020 was 97, went to 96. Nautical Dawn,
But didn't you do
97, 95.
with the tasting on board? Do you think it's still a great vintage? Would you be buying 2020s now to drink later?
So my preference is to drink the wines when they still give me great pleasure.
No, I'm not asking about your preference because it's not. I'm not asking about what you're drinking. You're a journalist. You're a critic. You are on the side of the consumer. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, being on the side of the consumer, are you recommending them to buy high-end 2020s to drink in the future or drink now?
I'm not trying to avoid the question. What I would say, wearing my professional hat, is I think the drinking window for South African white wine, Chenin and Chardonnay, is
at its peak.
It's 6 to 8 years from vintage.
Yeah, I'm less. I'm 4 to 6.
No, so I think 2017 is going, will certainly outlast 2020. Serious Sauvignon Blanc and Sauv Saint blends cream.
Oh, no, I agree. Yeah. I agree, but they're not as rewarding. They last longer, but they're not as rewarding.
Caveat emptor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Buyer beware. Christian, thank you very much as always.
Great fun.
I hope you had a great time. I had a good time.
Do you think there's more energy in this podcast?
I think so. I think late afternoon with 3 bottles of wine is the way forward. Oh, huge surprise, everybody. Christian and David like a glass of wine. What a surprise. All right. Ciao, ciao.